I've actually been practicing my David Attenborough impression. Would you like to hear it?
Not really, but I'm going to anyway.
Hello, Daniel, and welcome to my David Attenborough impression. Today we are looking at myths and how great they are in society. What do you think of that?
Pretty good.
Are you just saying that to move on quickly?
No, I think it's a really, really good David Attenborough impression. Probably the best I've ever heard.
Mate, you don't have to ruin it for me. Let's snuggle in close, Dan.
Love the debate. Here we have a man trying to do an impression
of my voice.
Welcome to MIFFs. I'm Matt Huss. And I'm Dan Rhodes. Whether you know about Theseus or you're revising your syllabus, if you want tales with a bit of jest, or you just want to hear about incest. What? What? It's really interesting. Welcome to MIFFs. Welcome to MIFFs.
Hello and welcome. Dan, I tried to do a very professional intro.
I ruined it.
No, what? Dan, let's try it again.
Okay.
But some director's notes, Dan.
Okay.
When you're doing your whooping, could you not do that, please?
Okay, I'll try again.
Okay. Hello and
whoop. I changed the vowel. You said not whoop, so I whapped.
You whapped.
Yeah.
How long have you been whapping for, Dan?
Since I was about 15.
You came on the train today, so you've been whapping for... Did you whap
Yeah,
on the train?
I came whilst I was whapping.
Yeah, you okay, let's... Another director's note. Can you not whap on this podcast, please?
I got woken up today on the train.
By someone whapping.
I was trying to sleep, and I felt this little hand tickle my knee.
Oh my god!
And I thought at first actually that like something had, like a bit of water or something had spilt on me. And I looked up, and it was just like a toddler in the seats in front who had like put her hand.
Oh my god!
Through like the bit in between the seats and was just like touching my knee.
That's so creepy. Imagine if it was the other way around.
No, she looked quite. She was cute actually. Bless her.
Welcome to Miss. So Dan, you got groomed by a child today.
I did, yeah.
Wow, I'm sorry.
No, she must have been like 1 year old.
1 year old. Yeah, well, that's actually quite sweet. How are you around children, Dan?
I quite like kids.
Yeah. Like
I don't mind kids. I mean, they're a bit annoying when they're crying and pooing.
Yeah.
But in terms of like,
very relatable.
but in terms of being like, oh, it's a cute little kid, then yeah, it's cute.
Yeah.
Although every now and then you do meet a really ugly baby, don't you?
Well, I'm talking to one right now. No, but yeah, I don't know. Like, I have to be in the right mood for it because, like, when I'm around certain people, like, for example, I hang out with my drama teacher quite a lot, and they have kids. They're a bit older now, but like, I think one's.
Yeah, and you can't snatch them when their parents are around.
I was just waiting. Waiting for the first paedophile reference, Dan. I just couldn't wait for it. Lee Kyle from which is the best podcast fame. On the podcast, he jokes that I'm a paedophile on it, and there's a kind of running joke, right?
Not a great joke.
It is funny, but
Okay.
outside the context, the joke is that I'm such a nice person that I'm not. It's not like. It's supposed to be like the biggest contradiction. However, he says it so often. Someone on Twitter recently went, "Oh, is that? Oh, I can't believe that's pedo Matt." I was like, "Please don't call me that, especially out of context." And I did.
Please, out of context or even in context.
Yeah.
Please stop referring to me as pedo Matt. That would be great.
But let's not talk about that because I was going to make a very earnest and genuine point about kids, but now.
Okay, what was it about kids? Go on. No, I do like kids. I do like kids.
I don't know. Like at the moment, like around certain kids, like really nice ones, I'm always like, I get that kind of like that cringe in my chest where I'm just like, oh my god, I'm totally in love with you. You're so sweet. Oh my god, like the very paternal instinct kicks in, if you know what I mean. Like, I
think we should edit this so it just says you're in love with a kid.
Well, I'm the editor, Dan. Like, yeah, you know what, Dan? You go and edit this. You edit it. Do you know what Audacity is, Dan?
How are you spelling that?
It's P. Sorry, I just spat at you.
Now, tell me more about how you find. No, I do like kids though. They're cute.
Who's the most annoying kid you've ever been around?
Most annoying kid I've ever been around. Oh, probably one the other day actually.
Oh, tell me about it.
I was buying a DVD.
Buying a child.
You know the DVD company called it's like SEX, CEX.
CEX.
Is it CEX or is it pronounced sex? I never actually know if you're actually meant to pronounce it
Yeah.
as sex. Because that's obviously the play on words that they're going for.
But I get quite ironic that the people buy stuff that probably won't have sex.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, I was in there. I was buying a DVD. I was buying White Men Can't Jump for my manager. Yeah, he's listening.
Well, hopefully.
Noah's listening.
Very slow listener, Noah. Hurry up.
We play basketball once a week, and we play it, but I haven't seen White Men Can't Jump, and he thinks that's bad for someone that when we play basketball.
What's it about?
White Men Can't Jump. Well, I haven't seen it yet.
Well, you must know you must know it's about basketball or something.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes, pre-jail. They're like basketball hustlers in LA on Venice Beach, and they form an unlikely friendship. And apparently it's a good movie. I've heard of it, but
yeah, it's nice that you're like, I don't know anything, but then that's quite a deep synopsis.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 50p in CEX because the cheap old DVDs, and I was in there looking for it. Problem is, it wasn't really in alphabetical order.
Oh my god, no!
But it was in alphabetical order, like ABC. I don't need to spell the alphabet.
Actually, just for the if you're unsure, let's just finish off the alphabet: A B C D E F G
H-I-J-K L M N O P
Q R S T U V W the V even S T U V and then W X Y Z.
Yeah, what happened then? Did you just forget the alphabet?
This has been a very long week for me, Dan. It's been a horrible time.
It's amazing, is it? The alphabet is in that order. Why is the alphabet in that order? Who decided that was the order those 26 letters went in?
The Greeks.
And because I also know, obviously, that thing about how the alphabet song is also the same tune as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star.
Yeah,
which blows my mind every time.
Can we do it like a splice where I'll do Twinkle Twinkle, you do it the ABCs? Actually, so
we can give it a go.
3, 2.
Are you doing Twinkle Twinkle?
Can I do the alphabet?
Okay, go on. Okay.
I'm unconfident now.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
Oh, I forgot. I just messed up again.
Oh, Matt can't remember the alphabet.
Can I do it again? Okay.
They got the gist.
Yeah, no. Let's do it again. Let's do
Matt
it perfect.
doesn't know the alphabet.
I do. Yeah, I just got nervous. Okay. I'm good at the alphabet.
Okay, try it again.
3, 2, 1.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are.
QRSTU.
It doesn't. It falls. It's the first bit. It falls on the second bit.
Yeah. So we just debunked that myth.
Yeah, but the first bit's the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to my CEX DVD story and how I hate this kid. And we were in. And now it's in alphabetical order. Although Matt does actually. Matt made a joke about me spelling out the alphabet, but then he fucked it up, so he obviously doesn't know the alphabet.
Dan, just to ruin your story, but I actually set up the DVD cases there. That's why it's all over the place.
A B C W X Y P. What the fuck?
It's because I lost the rhythm of it. It happened again, you know.
So it's in alphabetical order, but then when you went to like the A, I was looking for the White Man Can't Jump, so I went to the W section. Now there was like hundreds of DVDs under each category. But there was no they weren't in alphabetical order. So once you got to the W, the letter you wanted, but then they went in alphabetical order. So I got to W, then I was just like, oh man, there's everything beginning with W, but it's not in a particularly good order. So it just took me ages to find it. Meanwhile, there's this kid the whole time, being like, this little kid being like, Mummy, what we getting? Mummy, what about this DVD? And then, I don't know why King Midas is in there.
Yeah. Oh, where's my mummy? Oh, what's this happening?
And she kept being like, look, we look into the blues, the DVD we want. Into the blues, the one he wants. Into the blue. And she kept saying is the one he wants, which made me think it was like their dad or her boyfriend or something. And Into the Blues, that one with Jessica Alba looking really hot in. So I was like, respect.
Yeah.
And it's Paul Walker. It's the film with Paul Walker before he died, and obviously, too soon. It was ages ago.
Too soon.
And
never forget.
Anyway, they were looking in completely the wrong section. I don't think they even twigged that it was alphabetical order. They were doing that, and they're just looking at every DVD, starting from like A, being like into the
A into the blue, bin to the blue,
the blue. Until eventually it was annoying me so much this kid kept being like, what one are we looking for? What one are we looking for? Mummy, what one are we looking for? What one are we looking for? That I was like, fuck this, I'm going to look for the DVD for you.
Oh, did you actually?
So I just walked over to the I section, found it within about 10 seconds, just gave it to her and was like, sorry, I couldn't, but over here you're looking for Into the Blue, and I just saw it over there.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, thank you, how did you know? And I wanted to be like, because your kid's just been You've been blurting it out to the whole shop, and your kid's been really annoying me, and I needed you to get these. Anyway, I did find White Men Can't Jump, but model of the story. Next episode, I'll tell you what it's... when I can be bothered to watch it, I'll tell you what it's like. I nearly said next episode, but I was like, there's no guarantee I'll watch it by then.
But next episode, we're recording in half an hour's time.
But anyway, yeah, that's the kid I hate the most recently.
Well, that's good to
How did we
hear.
go on to this subject? Oh, yeah, because the kid woke me up on the train.
Oh, yeah, which is still weird, by the way. Anyway, Daniel, shall we head to the misty plains of myths?
Yes. Should we do... we should do part 3 of Achilles before we do part 4.
Yes. So, are you ready for part 4 of Achilles?
Yeah.
Part 4 of 3 of Achilles. We're going to cut out his adventure where he goes to... he actually goes to Middle Earth and gets to hang out with hobbits for is like his gap year, but he actually comes back to do this one.
This is actually the joking apart though. We're going to do part 3 and it's the last part, right?
Yeah, it is the last part. Let's do the transition.
I don't need a Trojan War. It's the rich while buries the poor. You got a chocolate dinner. I hear my girl they call ain't that fair. I don't need your Trojan War. No.
Daniel, welcome back to the final part of Achilles. Are you excited? Dan, no more whapping on this podcast.
So,
Whooping's allowed.
Okay.
Do not whap in front of me, please. It's been Dan. Obviously for listeners, it's just been a week, and it's only been a week for us, hasn't it? Since
It
we last
has,
seen each other?
yes.
It's been quite a long week.
it's been a really long week.
I mean,
several days.
Well,
It's more than 7 actually.
I would say probably nearly a month.
Nearly a month.
A long week it's been, a very long week. And let's recap what happened in parts 1 and 2 of Achilles.
Should we do a bullet point each?
Let's just riff it. So who was Achilles, Dan?
Achilles is a guy who was dipped in the river Styx by his mum. By his... I'm going to get sued by Futurama and Zoidberg or something. Dipped by his ankle. His mum held him by his heel, specifically.
Yeah.
Dipped him into the river Styx so that the rest of him became impenetrable, invincible, immortal, except for the bit which didn't touch the river Styx, i.e. the heel that his mother was holding on to.
Yes, very nice. And then basically he grew up with a little centaur called Chiron who taught him the ways of arts and X, Y, and Z.
Art and poetry, but more importantly...
Warfare.
War.
And when he was jolly old 15, he got conscripted to go to the old Troy.
Yeah, and it turns out that being invincible comes in quite handy.
Yeah.
When you're in the army.
Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Comes in quite handy.
Imagine, what would you do if you were invincible, Dan?
If I was invincible, I would probably go into changing rooms and hide so no one could see me.
Well, that is so much creepier than I would ever have thought. We're just going to leave that? Yeah. Well,
There's actually a joke on me thinking that it was invisible, but...
okay. Sorry, I didn't quite get it there.
if I was invincible, I think I would try and do some kind of greater good. I feel like I'd work for the UN, could go into war zones to help out.
Oh, yeah, that's actually pretty good. Dan,
Or be the baddest motherfucker in town. One or the other. Good or bad.
It's nice that...
FYI, if I could be invisible, I wouldn't creep in change rooms, by the way. I would also use that for good. I'd probably rob naughty people if I was invisible.
Okay. It's interesting.
And if I was invincible, I'd mess those naughty people up.
It's nice that in the first, you're like, yeah, I'm going to be a good person. And in a couple of seconds, no, I'm going to be evil. Easily corrupted. So, when Achilles arrives in Troy, instead of actually fighting a war for 10 years, he spends most of his 10 years sacking with his cool gang called...
The Myrmidons!
Yep. That
Sounds like an ancient type of animal that used to live.
The Myrmidon, yeah.
Yeah, the Myrmidon.
It's actually quite a good name for a band, isn't it? The Myrmidons.
The Myrmidons.
That could be our band.
That's our band.
Before recording this, we decided we were going to start a band. Call it Myrmidons.
Yeah, just decided right now.
I'm going to be doing guitar, bass and drums. Dan is the singer.
I'm the singer.
Although I'm pretty good at singing too, so I'll do some backing vocals.
Can't you, sing the chorus at any, when we have, big moments come in?
Okay, yeah. We're thinking ahead, Dan.
Yeah.
We're going to be like Oasis, but better.
That's pretty good.
What's our first song going to be?
Troy.
Troy, it's the name of a guy. Sorry, I'm backing vocals, so you'll sing. I'll do melody.
He was dipped in the river Styx when he was a baby. Then his heel was.
I didn't know we were a funk band, Dan.
No, but it gets like rocky. The chorus is always rocky. It always starts off folk and then goes rock.
Yeah.
He was dipped in the river Styx by his mummy when he was a baby.
No, we need some fat bass.
It's
This is, oh my god, this is a very, we have not eased into this gently, have we? We talk about like being touched up by a kid and then the metal Achilles song. That's good. I think I need to have a rest, but the Myrmidons and Achilles went to lots of different islands to basically conquer them all, and had a
because they refused to be part of the main battle going on. Agamemnon, the head of the king of Greece, was like, nah.
Then, so they're essentially for the kind of the main part of the war. In the 10th year, Agamemnon basically has a bit of a feud. Then basically he steals Briareus, which is Achilles' prized trophy wife, I guess. Achilles is a bit pissed off, so he leaves the war for a bit, doesn't he? Dan?
He does.
He's taking a vow of
a hiatus
from the war.
A sabbatical.
Yeah.
But what happens is that Achilles is second in command,
and his
mate,
go-to guy,
his best friend, Patroclus steals Achilles' armour, pretends to be Achilles, takes all the Myrmidons. The Myrmidons are like, oh, Achilles back.
Yeah. And
come on, boys, let's go. They go and they join the battle. Whilst on the battlefield,
they get to they meet the Trojans, and the Trojans their leader is Hector,
the greatest fighter of all of Troy.
Yes, although that is a very low bar.
It's a hugely low bar.
Yeah, they are not good fighters. So Hector is kind of slaying them, and he sees Achilles on the battlefield.
Or he sees Patroclus in the armour, and he's like, but he doesn't know what Achilles looks like.
Yeah,
he has no reason.
It's Achilles.
He has no reason to know what Achilles looks like.
And then he gets a spear, and he kills Patroclus.
Super easy. And he's like, this guy's not immortal. What the hell?
Well, immortal to nothing.
Yeah.
That's the kind of banter they have in Troy as well. And because he's Prince, everyone's like, yeah, that's pretty good.
FYI, by the way, I keep using the word immortal, but
he's not. He's invincible.
It's invincible apart from his heel, but it's not that it's not that people know that he can't be killed. It's the fact that he's just an incredible warrior.
Yeah, he's a good fighter anyway.
Yeah.
So even if you were to get a slash on him, it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, you just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
so Hector kills Patroclus thinking he's Achilles. Everyone's like,
yeah.
oh my goodness, Achilles is dead.
But then, a real Achilles comes
back to his tent and is like, hey Patroclus, how you Patroclus?
Patroclus! Where's my armour? Because Hector takes the armour as well.
Hector's stolen the body.
To do burial stuff. Then Achilles gets really kind of upset, and he's like, I'm going to screw you guys. He gets into his emo phase.
He gets angry with the Myrmidons because he's like, how the fuck did you not think that was me? And they're like, to be fair, he's wearing your arm. And he's like, oh yeah, good one guys, yeah. So, sorry. And then he kind of gets it. He gets very emo. He gets very angry. Then Hephaestus, the little forge maker, makes him a little bit of armor, some special armor to fight in. So he makes him some cool power armor, brand new golden armor.
Yeah,
the golden armor.
I missed that voice.
But Hector's quite confident, isn't he, Matt?
Hector thinks he's pretty much won the war. He's like, hey guys, as a little treat, these walls were invincible at Troy, so why don't we just camp outside
in the desert? How about camp outside in front of the walls?
I mean, there's nothing out there, and for no reason. But why don't we just go and hang out? And they're like, yeah, why not? Let's have a barbecue. And then,
so they're all camping outside the impenetrable walls. And then the rest of Greece is like, and Agamemnon and Achilles are like, why are all the soldiers of Troy outside the walls rather than inside the walls? I think we should take this time to strike.
The wrath of Achilles is just like, fuck you guys. So he goes over and kind of slays them all.
And he kills basically, him and his army kill all of them.
Yeah, so he basically the wrath of Achilles is just starting, and now
he's pissed off, Matt.
He's pissed off, and he knows who he's going for. He's going to go for Hector.
Bellerin, Arsenal football player.
Alright, so here is part 3, the final part. It was Hector's time. The two men met, and both armies stood back and watched mesmerised. Hector's plan was to run around the city walls, hoping to tire Achilles, who had been long inactive. Wrong.
Just to point something out here. So he's like, Achilles wants to fight me. I know what I'll do. I'll get him to chase me around the walls until he gets tired.
It's like, well, alright, there's a lot going on here, because obviously they've decided to just have their best warriors fight each other to save more bloodshed, which is quite a good tactical thing.
And kind of secretly, Hector wants to actually try and actually kill Achilles, and Achilles really wants to kill Hector because he just killed Patroclus.
Well, Achilles is in fury at the moment. He's angry, and how Achilles is behaving at the moment is really important for the future, for future episodes. Because when we talk about the Aeneid, this is how Aeneas' character grows as well. So Achilles, how he's so angry, this is his moment. So he doesn't care about the war whatsoever. He cares about killing Hector. But Hector, he's like, okay, I'm a brave warrior, one of Troy's greatest. How are we going to defeat him? Run around the walls of Troy? I'll just beat him at track, 1,500 metres, fucking beat him. Imagine if that's how they decided the war. They'd had a baton race.
I love the idea that he would run around the wall 3 times and win, and be like, yeah, I won! And everyone's like, you still have to fight him, Hector! All you've done is tire each other out. You've still got to fight with swords.
Actually, it'd be really funny if Achilles stayed in the same place in front of the gate to Troy, and Hector ran all the way around, just making himself tired. So I'm still here, dickhead.
Yeah, but you still have to fight. Yeah.
But then again, if I was Hector and you knew you can't beat this guy, and this guy's pretty
you'd be
pissed
clutching
off,
at straws, wouldn't you?
You'd be like, I'll run around for a bit, just try.
I love the idea that he's like, obviously he's heard of how good Achilles is. Now Hector is, to be fair, a very good hunter, a very good warrior.
Yeah.
But even he must be thinking, this actually might be quite difficult. She's obviously just panicked, hasn't it?
I don't think we get to see this in this excerpt. However, I believe in Book 2 of the Aeneid, we actually see Hector's, before he goes off to this fight, basically he says goodbye to his son, and I think his wife, who's called Andromeda, I think, and he's a very paternal figure, and he's very sweet. What he did before he left, he went up to the kid and said, "If I don't see you again, know that I love you." And here's a copy of Into the Blue.
But he's basically thinking of all the times he's ever fought, this is probably the one time he thinks he might not be coming back.
Well, he's a very humble person anyway, but I think he knows the game. 3 times Achilles chased Hector around the walls of Troy, and each time that Hector would try to run for the safety of a gate, Achilles would cut him off. His fury knew no bounds, and Prince Hector sensed in his heart that he stood absolutely no chance of defeating the greatest Greek warrior that had ever lived. But Hector was no coward. If anything, he was the bravest fighter amongst all the Trojans. But he wasn't foolish. As developed as his martial skills were, they were no match for Achilles. So, he decided to outrun him. There's a quote from the Iliad, "He who fights and runs away lives to fight another day." And that's not a quote from the Iliad, it's just...
That's just a saying.
Is it?
I don't know. Sounds good.
Can I get it tattooed on you then? Actually, Hector had demonstrated a certain cowardice when twice previously he had fled from the formidable Achaean warrior Ajax the Greater. This is earlier in the war. Indeed, he did not recover his courage until goaded by his comrades Glaucus and Aeneas, who began to insult him, questioning his resolve. If you're getting insulted by a guy called Glaucus...
you got problems.
Yeah, definitely. He has gammy eyes.
I love the day he's like, "Yeah, Hector, you ran away from that man. Shut the fuck up, Glaucus."
Yeah, shut up with your stupid face. And Aeneas, you're not going to be important later on, are you? He's like, oh no. Yeah, Ajax, obviously, there's 2 Ajaxes, the Ajax the Greater and Ajax the Smaller. One's an idiot and dies, and the other one is like a rapist. So, just to let you know, that's a Greek word. So, Hector was known for his bravery, but apart from that occasion. Hector had a lot to live for. He was a devoted family man with an adoring wife and children. Achilles had really no strings attached, which sounds kind of a weird. That's a weird way to phrase it, isn't it?
Word, isn't it?
Achilles really had no strings attached, other than to his mother Thetis, whom he rarely saw, and to his loyal army of the Myrmidons. Am I correct in saying that Thetis travelled with him, right? Thetis came along.
Well, his mum's actually like a sea nymph.
Yeah, but she came along to Troy to help out, and she's like, "Don't worry, darling, I got your laundry all piled up, okay, darling?" And she's from New Jersey. Jersey. So he's like, "Mum, stop embarrassing me from my myrmidons." Especially now with Patroclus gone, Achilles was more alone than ever. Compare that to the Trojan prince Hector, to whom his family was much more important than his personal glory. I think that's the key difference between the two, because
all Achilles has is war.
That's his whole life as well. He's fueled by hatred. He's fueled by war. However, Hector's he's running to save his life.
He fights for the people.
He's fighting for his love and his family. However, Achilles is pride. That's what it is. It's his ego. The fact that he has been personally offended by Hector. He wants to take him out. You know what I mean? So there's a lot resting on this, and I think Hector doesn't care about Kleos. Do you remember what Kleos is?
Is that when you can enter someone's home and be nice to them?
That's good. That's Xenia.
Okay.
But Kleos is about the warrior's code.
Sorry,
Greek words. Kleos is about basically it's the idea of trying to be remembered after you die. It's about legacy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And so if you do well in battle and you die, it's okay because you've got Kleos. However, being cowardice, that's quite a bad thing because it means you're not going to be remembered in a very positive way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the point is that Hector doesn't care about that. He cares about the people he loves. So there's a big difference there.
Yeah.
I'm fucking clever, aren't I?
You are really clever, actually.
Dan, can you give me a compliment, please?
Matt, you look alright today.
Thank you.
To be fair, I'll give a compliment. I went to look around the finishing touches of the house you're going to move into soon, and it's not shit.
Well, I had nothing to do with that, so...
exactly. Hector fights for love.
As this goes on, it even highlights that point further, because it says, especially now with Patroclus gone, Achilles was more alone than ever. But yeah, the point is that, I think Achilles is also, he's hurting a lot, so that's why he's wrathful, you know what I mean? You know, he just wants to let his emotions out, which really, it's very, we're gonna give him a safe space to murder people.
Yeah.
At last, Hector had enough. The entire city had gathered to the top of the awesome walls, fixated with morbid fascination at the death dance between Hector and Achilles. I riffed it. Okay, let me try that again.
Oh, literally none of those words are in that sentence.
I riffed it. It still worked, Dan, didn't it? Fine, I'll say it again. Because I messed up. Okay. You always have to take them. Next time you read, Dan,
you laugh at me when I mispronounce stuff.
Okay, I'm sorry. Alright. The entire city had gathered to the top of the awesome walls, fixated in morbid fascination at the death dance playing out below them. Hector was their favourite, and he was destined to take over as king from his father Priam.
See how different that was to the...
But in all same message, wasn't it, Dan? But also, I liked how they said Hector was their favourite. Yeah, because he's fighting for their of course he's the favourite. Imagine if you're in Troy, no, I like Achilles actually. It's like, what are you doing?
It's like cheering for Germany in a penalty shootout just because you're like, I love Germany. What are you doing, mate?
Dan, I don't want to do this on podcast, but that's the second time you mentioned sports in this podcast. That's a no-go. No more. If you're gonna do a Germany route, at least mention the Nazis.
Okay.
Right? That's okay. No more sports, please.
Sorry.
That's 2-0.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's a sports reference.
So what are we doing? Learning about Achilles and Adolf Hector.
That was bad even for me, but all right. Things were looking bad for Hector, and he says this. If anyone deserves... What accent should I do for him? Do you want to do an accent for him?
I think this is the people of Troy speaking.
Oh, people of Troy. If anyone deserves to pay...
Why don't we all do it as if we're a mob? We'll say this line. Okay. I'll be the women, you be the men.
So let's just... For the podcast reads. I think this... so the next line is the crowds of Troy shouting out. Let's put the soundscape down.
If anyone deserves to perish, it was Paris.
Yeah, that spoilt brat who was so brazenly he had kidnapped Helen and brought his calamity upon mighty Troy.
Yeah, not brave Hector. Boo, Achilles. Boo, Achilles. Achilles, I love you! What the fuck? Oh, the fuck is this person? Get him out!
You like Germany?
Yeah, get out, yeah!
Oh, that's good, I enjoyed that. Imagine if they had a popcorn stand there. It's like, get your hot dogs, see the death dance of Hector!
Yeah, place your bets now! 50-50, Hector, Achilles. Achilles to win, 9-1.
Hector to win, 0, because it's not gonna fucking happen!
Yeah.
Enough. If Hector was gonna die, he was gonna do so with dignity and grace befitting of a Trojan prince. Hector stopped running and turned to face his nemesis.
You can imagine the crowd being like, oh, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen,
I also
let it happen.
They're like, I can't wait to get my wager. But also on top of that, like, if the crowd was at the top of the walls watching, right, and he's just been running around, have we just been sat there for about 3 hours just watching him run?
I assume it's like in F1, watching the F1, like, you see them come past, and then you have to wait for them on that.
Yeah. A very shit F1 with a very armoured men just running after each other. So, time stood still.
Can I not read this first?
I'm just going to do that bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead then.
Time stood still. Hector versus Achilles. It was the moment that would forever be etched in glorious history, a scene that would be memorised in countless artistic renditions and paintings. Poems would be written, plays performed. It was a glorious moment, immortalised by Homer. In the Iliad!
Yep. Yeah, what he did there was like, Iliad? And then looked over at me, he was like, yeah, that's right.
Two men of noble birth, one a demigod, impervious to death, save for his invulnerable heel, the other a mere mortal, yet larger than life itself. Two men of noble birth, one a demigod, impervious to death, save for his invulnerable heel, the other a mere mortal, yet larger than life itself. Hector and Achilles looked gay. Sorry. Hector and Achilles.
What was that? You're messing up.
No. You just misread complete words. I just mispronounced the word.
Actually, Dan, you actually messed up some words earlier because you said it was the moment. It was a moment. Screw you, Dan. This is our fallout, isn't it? This is where we snap.
Yeah. Hector and Achilles locked gazes, and the Trojans knew that this would be his final day on this earth. All present held their breath. They're like, please, this doesn't go on for too long.
Don't run around again.
He lunged desperately at Achilles, but the Greek deflected his sword effortlessly, almost appearing to toy with Hector. Then Achilles struck with all the force and skill instilled in him years earlier by his teacher and mentor, the centaur Chiron. Hector had no chance. There was a collective gasp of disbelief from atop the walls of Troy as Achilles drove his mighty sword through the beloved prince. With a terrible war cry that resounded high in the heavens, the Greek gained revenge for the death of his beloved Patroclus. That was over quite quickly, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was basically, let's have a fight. Blah. That was it.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Then it was time for the indignity. War is a terrible thing.
So, remember Hector being like, I want to die with dignity. Let's see what happens.
Achilles ignored Hector's dying wish to have his body returned to his father Priam for the ransom. Is it Priam or Priam? We never established this.
We said it's a Primarch rule, so I think it's Priam, but if you want to say Priam, you're welcome to.
Achilles ignored Hector's dying wish to have his body returned to his father Priam.
Thank you.
For ransom. Instead, he fastened leather straps to the body of Hector and secured them on his chariot. It was the very same chariot that Patroclus had commanded for him through so many battles. The irony was not lost on Achilles. A single tear.
I just imagine he would just been like, irony, as he just straps him to the bottom of his chariot to ride across.
Whipping up his immortal horses, Balius, Xanthus, and Pedasus, the Greek dragged the Trojan prince's corpse 3 times around the walls of Troy. Ironically, how many times they chased each other. He desecrated his fallen opponent's remains, Much to the extreme dismay and anguish of the devastated Trojans, many of them Hector's immediate family, who watched in horror from atop the city walls.
So he's dragged down at the wheels of the chariot, his body just being dismembered and kind of flagellated and stuff like that. It's pretty messed up, isn't it?
It's pretty messed up.
But also, I love how he has these great names, like Balius, Xanthus, and it's like, I want to call the horse Pegasus, but...
It's already taken.
So we'll go for the knockoff version, Pegasus.
In your face! In your face again! And a third time! In your face!
You know what? That sounds a lot like...
Why is that?
He's done it every time he goes round as well.
Yeah.
In your face! No, in your face! In your face! In your face again!
This was bad sportsmanship indeed, but the wrath of Achilles, just like his love for Patroclus, knew no earthly bounds, and in war, all was fair.
I don't think it was fair, in all fairness. However, my favourite thing about that in your face thing, it sounds like James Acaster said it. It's like, in your face! No, in your face again! And a third time, in your face! So, Hector is dead. Achilles has done quite a horrible thing to him as well. This is the most brutal he's ever been. Some may say it's justified, but I think it's pretty...
Overboard.
Overboard, yeah. Alright. The final part.
With Hector now dead and the Trojans completely demoralised, Achilles proceeded to bury Patroclus and to offer sacrifices to those Olympian gods who had assisted him so favourably thus far. No funeral expense was spared. To the altar of the gods Achilles sacrificed numerous horses, 2 of Patroclus' own hounds, and 12 noble Trojan captives,
Wow.
several sons of Priam among them. So basically Hector's brothers.
Yeah, I love how it's like, oh, death is so horrible. Oh, we must remember Patroclus at this funeral. Kill some horses, kill some dogs,
Kill 12 men, kill some men. Some critics claim that the dark, less than heroic side of Achilles was revealed when he slaughtered the Trojans in cold blood while offering sacrifice.
Because that is sacrilege as
That
well.
is pretty bad. Indeed, there is no doubt that Achilles was a flawed hero, consumed by bloodlust, wrath and pride. Well, that's what we talked about earlier. It's just... For all of his incredible... That's all he knows is war. That's all he can do. He's got nothing else.
But then again, because he has no one there, he's so... he doesn't give a shit anymore, and he's so kind of...
He's lost everything, hasn't he?
Bankrupt as well.
He was driven by a lust for glory, and he recognised how very hard it was to act with integrity and nobility when so much was at stake. Still beside himself in grief, at dawn every day Achilles would drag Hector's body 3 times around Patroclus' tomb. Finally, at the command of Zeus, Hermes led Priam to the Greek camp one night. What a weird thing to do. By the way, Hector's body must be an absolute mess.
Yes.
If every day he's dragging it around the tomb.
And it must start smelling now.
Yeah,
as
it's
well.
pretty bad.
And I just love it. It's like, what's up, Achilles? Are you sad? Yeah. You want to go for a joyride in the chariot with Hector? Yeah, go on then. just doing their drag. What's it like? What's it when you drifting around like?
So the gods have been like, this is a bit too much, mate. So they've gone and got Priam, the king of Troy, and brought him to camp.
Oh, damn! I've got a pun. That drifting joke. If you're having horses instead of cars, you can call it Need for Steed.
That's okay. I need for speed. Yeah. That's so funny.
So King Priam overcome grief is that you don't have to run my fun down. I had to do a little bit of a joke, but you know,
You didn't laugh at my Adolf Hitler joke earlier.
different type of joke, isn't it? But yeah, so Priam wanders over to the Greek camp, which is, as a tactical move, that's pretty
bold.
But it's been led by Hermes, so there's some assurance there.
It's like Osama bin Laden walking up to the White House. Hey, can I have a word?
What a weird and outdated reference. The inconsolable king of Troy beseeched Achilles to ransom his son's body, throwing himself at the warrior's feet, begging. He pleaded with Achilles to permit a proper funeral befitting such a brave and noble prince. But this is also quite a big leap for Priam, because firstly he's gone to enemy territory. He's the king of the city. He's trying to fight. He basically,
the enemy.
Yeah, he's very much in the lion's den. And thirdly, he's gone to the most powerful man in that whole universe and been like, could you do me a favour? You know that guy you killed who you hate with all your heart? Could you help me out?
Yeah. Hey, I think you just brutally murdered my son in front of me.
Would you mind not doing that anymore? Oddly enough, Priam found Achilles asleep alone in his tent and could have tried to kill him, but chose not to. What a lovely man.
I love how even with Achilles asleep on his own, trying to kill him is still a try. It's not like he found Achilles asleep and could have killed him. It was like he could have tried to still kill him because it's pretty impossible.
You know for a fact that if he tried to stab him, would have just been punched in the crotch and his neck snapped. You know what I mean? This old man was beyond revenge. He just wanted his son's corpse back for funeral rites. But
I love the idea of him being like, "Can I have my son's body back?" And he's like, "Oh, it's not in great condition."
You can have his finger. But this is I think it's book 24 of the Iliad. So after all the warfare and everything's happened, it finishes with this moment where this king, he's not a king anymore. He's just a father grieving for his son. He's going up to the most powerful man and asking just for one bit of kindness. Achilles was greatly moved by King Priam's love for his dead son, and amazed at how little the man cared for his own safety. If there was ever a time for compassion, this was it. They agreed to exchange the corpse for Hector's weight in gold, and a pair of scales were set up outside the city walls. Hector's body was laid in one pan, and the Trojans were invited to heap their gold into the other scales of balance. So Achilles was like, "Hey, I totally understand. I'm
a really compassionate guy.
Yeah, you're welcome to have your son back if you give me a fuck ton of money.
If you give me 13 stone of gold."
I thought you said 30 stone now. Hector's really fat and just running. He's just doing his jog, turning around to lose weight outside of.
I love that he'd be like, "How much gold do you want?" About 80 kilos will do. What makes you think of that? I have an idea. Yeah, give me some scales.
Yeah, but it's also like, but then again, that's also not a good idea, because if he's been running for 3 laps straight, and also his body's been decimated, there's not really not much left there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, he's just a shilling. But it's also kind of weird that they decided to get scales for it. It's very formal, if you know what I mean. When at last Priam's treasury was empty, and still Hector's burly corpse was heavier than Polyxena, a Trojan princess.
You said when his body was heavier than Polyphena. It's just when... Basically, Priam's treasure is empty, but the body is still heavier than the amount of gold they have. So this woman, Polyxena, has gone and got her own bracelets and jewellery.
So she kind of helps alone.
Yeah.
It's quite nice.
You think they'd have more gold than that?
In all fairness, it's at the end of the 10-year war. So.
That's true. War's quite expensive.
But then again, they've been just sitting in their walls having a party all the time. So this Trojan princess, Polyxena, gives the missing weight. Impressed at her courage, Achilles offered to exchange the gold for the beautiful woman, and Priam told him she was freely his if Achilles persuaded the Greeks to depart without Helen, ending the war. So,
Priam's seen an opportunity to end the war.
So you can have her if you end the war. And he's been a bit cheeky there, isn't he?
Yeah. No deal. Achilles and his warriors promptly commenced with their route of the Trojans and pursued them towards the city. But Poseidon and Apollo had pledged to punish certain deaths which had offended them, and also some insolent boasts uttered by Achilles as he stood gloating over the corpse of Hector. So as he's putting Hector on the scales, he's like, "Yeah, you fucking dumb bitch, you deserve to die." And everyone's like, "Wait, whoa, Achilles, whoa."
He's like, "Come on, mate.
Come on, mate, yeah.
Just had a moment of compassion here."
Yeah, you lie on those scales, you stupid idiot, dead corpse, little bitch.
You fucking cunt.
Whoa! Like, Achilles, what did you say? I said, "Oh, you, sorry, mate, about all this." Yeah.
It's just deeply misogynistic as well. But also, yeah, because this bit isn't in the Iliad, this bit hit, because it ends with him just making that deal with Priam, but I can't remember the Polyxena bit. So, yeah, this is a bit of an interesting one. So, the gods decided to kind of get their own back of Achilles. The desecration of Hector's corpse by Achilles when it was dragged around the fortification of Troy did not sit well with the gods. This honour, this extreme, did not befit such a noble man.
The gods aren't too happy about what Achilles has been doing.
And you know what? This is actually the first time where it's actually not petty. They're actually, no, this is fucked up. We need to do something about this. And this is a kind of an intervention, so to speak. Apollo sought out Paris during the battle and divinely guided his hand. So, Achilles went to attack the Trojans after their peace summit. Oh, this is very nice. Attack! And so Apollo gets to Paris. Throughout this 10-year war, Paris was consumed by guilt. knowing that this unimaginable destruction was all his fault. But his love for Helen remained steadfast. So as we talked about in episode 30, Paris was the reason for all this as well. And he feels guilty, but not guilty enough to give her back. What made matters worse was that Hector never once, hectored Paris about his bad decisions and his dependence on physical love. The big brother was nothing but supportive of his little brother, despite the latter's foibles, and somehow that only made things worse for Paris. So Paris feels bad because the person that didn't heckle him about it was
his brother, who's now dead.
But everyone else did. Imagine everyone else been like, "Alright, is she? How's Helen? Is she going to help out with this war?" It's like, "Oh, sorry guys. Oh, sorry about this. I do apologise." And his big brother was dead in a fashion most foul because of him. So this poison-tipped arrow of Paris, steering by the unerring hand of the god of light, found the only vulnerable spot on Achilles, his right heel. So he pulled his string back.
This has happened quite quickly, by the way. When did Paris get to the? When did he got to the Greek camp to kill? Achilles?
No. Because what I was saying was that after Polydeuces put some money down, Achilles like, "Oh, you want to go for a drink sometime?" He's like, "If you end the war," and he goes, "No dice. We're going to attack you now." So he did attack on Troy.
Oh, so they're all running
and Paris is kind of feeling kind of shitty. And he's like, "Oh, I've got this bow and arrow." He pulls it back, boom, poison tip, hits Achilles right in the heel. Now,
so it's actually a really terrible shot.
Well, yeah, because he must think, "Oh, that's a bit shitty."
Because he must have been aiming for his
anything else.
Yeah, anything else but his heel. There's no way he knew that he didn't know that the heel was vulnerable.
That's an odd shot to make, isn't it?
That's what I mean. He didn't mean to. He's like, "Oh, I can't even do this right. I've just got him in the." Oh, wait a minute.
What kind of noise do you reckon Achilles
I'm melting.
Oh no! Oh no, man! It's a Geordie tipped arrow, man.
I love the idea that it would go into his heel, and Achilles is like, Kidgel, that's my right. It's my left heel. Fuck yeah.
But does Achilles know about his weakness?
I assume not.
Because imagine that shock to him. He's like, whoa,
oh, this hurts. What the hell is this?
Oh my god. And the great hero Trojan War died in raving agony. But what's interesting here is that Achilles actually dies quite a horrible death in the fact that people see him as a strong figure, and for him to be dying quite a pathetic death, that's quite... I guess it's quite an ironic, a poetic way for him to die, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Others say that it was Apollo himself, disguised as Paris, who actually struck the fatal shot. The great battle raged over the fallen hero's corpse until finally the Greeks carried dead Achilles throughout the midst of the enemy and back to their camp, devastated at the loss of their greatest warrior. To make amends with his mother Thetis, Poseidon promised to bestow on Achilles an island where he would be worshipped and receive divine sacrifices for eternity. The 9 muses sang his funeral dirges, while a host of Nereids offered solace to Thetis.
Aww.
So they're basically consoling his mum.
Yeah.
His corpse was burned upon a pyre on the 18th day, and his ashes mixed with those of Patroclus, laid in a golden urn made by Hephaestus, the guy who made the armour, and buried at Sigirium. But Thetis snatched Achilles' soul from the pyre and brought it to the island of Leuce, where he rejoined his dead friends, including Patroclus. So his soul has been joined his friends.
I don't think that's actually canon, actually, because officially Achilles' soul goes down to the underworld, and I'll talk to you about that at the end of this.
Helen, the cause of the war, was his bride there by some accounts, yet others claim that Achilles went to Hades, where he complains bitterly of his lot in life as he stomps about the Asphodel fields.
Asphodel fields. I think it's just like...
Is this trying to say that some people say that he actually did go to the underworld?
Yeah. Well, in the Odyssey, I was going to mention this afterwards, but in the Odyssey, when Odysseus goes to the underworld, he actually bumps into Achilles, and Odysseus is like, "Oh, you're right, mate. How's it going? Yeah, how's things?" And it's like, and Achilles is basically, the famous line he says is, "I'd rather be alive and poor than king of the dead," because he like in the underworld, everyone's like, "Oh, it's Achilles! Oh my god!" He's like famous, and he's like. But his life means nothing anymore, so to die for honour is pointless. Cause
he's realised that this whole thing he worked for his whole life is
pointless.
A lie, yeah.
Yeah, and he'd rather be a farmer and a no one and live his life. But yeah, so it's quite sad, really. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end.
Of Troy. So he's dead. He's in the underworld.
Yeah, Achilles is dead. He's gone. However, we're going to rank this mother, aren't we, Dan?
Yes.
I don't need your Trojan War.
I'm going to do it on a scale of 1 to 10 this time.
Wow, that's very original. Actually, could you do it on a scale of 1 to 1, please?
I will do.
Alright, here we go. So, Dan, how do we usually rank things?
We usually rank things the same way we're probably going to do it this time, which is we rank each myth out of 4. Those categories are creativity,
Bam!
morals,
Yep,
life skills,
yep,
WTF.
yeah.
I think I did this in the wrong order actually.
Yeah, it was very much the wrong one.
Yeah.
But, I liked it. Freestyle, Dan.
Thank you. And each of those is ranked out of 10, giving a possible score of 40 points. Go.
Why have you done it in the weird order, man?
It's not in a weird order.
Yeah, creativity first.
Isn't that? Or is it life skills first?
Dan, we've been doing this for 35 episodes now.
Sorry, I thought it was creativity first.
And it's not second either.
Here it is. Life skills, creativity, morals, WTF.
No, morals is the second. We always do life skills, morals, creativity, WTF.
Do we?
Yeah, all the time.
Well, I may have messed up that Excel spreadsheet, I tell you that now.
We've done that for ages.
Oh, okay. In that case, my Excel spreadsheet is definitely in the wrong order.
How do you not know this by now?
That's because that's why I've done it on my spreadsheet at home.
That's so weird, man. Well, it's how you can just swap them.
Yeah.
Anyway, Daniel, so, life skills. What practical things have we learned? Learned how to defeat someone in battle.
Learn how to defeat someone in battle.
Very easy. Learn how to run track.
Learn how to run track.
Learn how to hold your breath as an audience.
Yep.
Learn how
To heckle 2 people fighting.
Yes. Should we heckle some more? Go on, Hector! Go on! Yeah, go on, Hector! Go on! Yeah,
Can you imagine that first swing, everyone's like, yeah! And then immediately like, oh, that was over so quickly.
Like the gladiators.
You'd be annoyed, wouldn't you, if you just brought a hot dog and then it was over in like 30 seconds?
It's like, oh, shouldn't you go to the toilet?
come back.
Oh, god damn it! I remember one of my friends, when I was a kid, when I was in year 9, I went to go and see Metallica in Sheffield. I brought my friend Sonny along, and Sonny wasn't that into it. And Sonny, during Master of Puppets, one of the most famous songs, he decided to go and get a Coke. Fuck you, Sonny. Fuck you. Also at that gig, I chatted to a lady who was there with her fiance, and it looked like I was trying to chat her up, but I was just having a lovely conversation with her.
During the World Cup, I went to the toilet just as England scored a goal in the quarterfinals against Sweden.
But I bet when you were at the urinal or cubicle,
I heard it, yeah.
You go, ah! I remember when when England got knocked out, I was performing at Hot Water Comedy Club, the club I mentioned earlier, and it was and you could literally hear the whole cheer throughout the whole city when they scored. I was like, fucking hell.
Yeah, I was in the toilet and I was like, you just hear it from outside, like, well, I think we scored, yeah.
Anyway, what other things have we learned?
Life skills, we've also learned
how to
weigh a corpse.
Yes, how to not pick up a lady. For example, hey, do you want to come back home with me?
How to don't try and chat someone up when you're laying a dead 1-week-old body on a.
That's a moral,
scale.
but we'll save it for a moral. But yeah, we learn how to build a funeral parlor.
Yeah, how to do funeral parades and how to lament someone.
How to get fake horse names.
How to get fake horse names. How to sacrifice a horse and people.
Yeah, how to not take care of your captives. How to get divine intervention.
How to sneak into a camp.
Yes, how to desecrate a body.
Or ultimately how to kill someone.
Yeah. We learned how to not deal with your problems by killing someone.
Yeah, how to not deal with your problems.
I think that's pretty much it, but there's been some pretty. They're all in the same area. Actually, no, there's quite a lot. With sneaking, there's battle, there's warfare, there's money. So and there's kind of piety. There's a message at the end of it as well. So I think, I reckon about a 7.
I was going to go 7.
Yeah.
Boom, in the bag. 1-7.
That's 17.
Oh, I don't know numbers.
And I don't know the alphabet, so we're both on the same level today, Dan.
Okay.
Morals, and definitely not creativity.
Moral, well, I've just done one. Don't try and pick up a girl when you're laying your body on the scale.
find the right time. Don't destroy a corpse.
Don't go overkill.
Yeah.
Like, know when your revenge is enough.
Or just don't kill anyone.
Just don't kill anyone.
That's my motto. I guess we also learned the moral that it's better to live life than be dead, like in the underworld and stuff like that.
Basically, yeah.
We learned don't keep bodies for several weeks, then give them back to your dad.
Yeah. We've learned to be compassionate to people wanting,
but compassionate, but not fiscally stupid.
But for money, yeah.
We also learned how it's always good to be a good person. Like Paris is very thoughtful about his family, and so is Hector about his family.
Yeah.
It's always good to be a good family man. And don't kill someone whilst they're trying to sleep, because they will definitely kill you. I think so. There's some there. Also, don't kill Trojan captives, and he's very gruesome there. I think this is the nadir of Achilles, so we see him go for his worst part, and we see him actually abuse his power for the first time as well.
Yes, that's true. That's actually quite a big moral.
I'm thinking about...
It's also for the first time we've seen the gods intervene when they thought something was bad.
They've actually intervened, but as the rules that they should be doing, you know what I mean? They're not petty and they're not vengeful. They're actually trying to help out in a positive way as well. And I think about a 7, personally.
I was going to go 6 or 7.
I was tempted to 6, but maybe 7. What do you think?
I think I'll give it the benefit of the doubt and do a 7. Because there's a lot of good morals there.
It's about... I think, we learned a lot on a lot of different levels, I think. Next up, creativity. Take it away, Dan.
Creativity. We've got them running around.
Yes.
We've got all the sacrifices and the burial rites. We've got the fact that he weighs someone. That's pretty, like the whole exchange for money. We've got Priam sneaking into the camp. That's pretty creative.
The fact that a king sneaks into the camp.
Yeah, we've got all the crowds cheering.
It's also a good way to finish a war as well. Like, I think it's a very interesting battle. A lot of stuff happens, and I don't know. I think it's a fascinating.
It's a very good protagonist antagonist.
Yeah.
Like the two against each other,
but neither of them are evil though.
That's what I mean. It's like they're both similar when they're similar, but very different where they're different.
But the only thing that separates them, well, they're different characters, but I think if they're on the same side, they'll be quite good friends. If you know what I mean. But I guess that's the cruelty of war, I suppose. And the fact that he desecrates the body on a chariot, that's like gangster messed up. If you know what I mean. Yes,
that is really messed up, but still quite creative.
It's not crazy though, is it?
It's not crazy creative.
But then again, it's a nice arc though. The fact that Patroclus dies.
It's got a nice narrative.
Achilles is I like the creativity of him working through that trauma of him losing a friend, and for him to kind of take it out. So I think
the narrative of grief and whatnot.
Yeah, the arc of his vengeance is powerful, I think. But I still don't. It's not like. I think it's quite straightforward, but it's in the nuance is really why it's interesting. So maybe a 6 or a 5.
I was going to go a 5. I think it's pretty average.
I think it's more than average. It's just more than
6.
Personally.
Okay, 6.
Also, at the moment we get a few people messaging saying, "Oh, I don't agree with that score you gave in for episode 3." By the way, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry." All right, and WTF, the main one being the body.
The body. He does some pretty messed up things with the body.
Killing the Trojan captives.
Killing the 12 Trojan captives. Asking for money in exchange for the body. That's a bit harsh. And
then also trying to pick her up afterwards.
Trying to pick up that woman afterwards. Pretty messed up.
And then when she says no, being like, "Well,
I'm going to burn your city down."
Yeah. He's not a chill guy, is Achilles, is he?
What are you thinking?
But what other thing? The fact that Paris misses his shot but also kills him.
Paris is a terrible shot but still works because he's just a jammy little twat, isn't he?
Paris is a jammy fucker, isn't he? He gets what he wants.
Yeah.
He lost very little. The fact that a lot of people died, but also watched him die, Hector die as well, and the fact that Achilles died in such a painful way. It's not. Well, I think the worst thing is the desecration, but I don't think that is too weird. Maybe a 5 or a 6?
I think a 5.
Yeah, 5. 5 is fair. Because it's the right level of messed up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So 7 for life skills, 7 for morals, 6 for creativity.
25.
25, not bad.
It's not bad. It's pretty average.
Oh yeah, but I think it's quite a strong myth overall. I think this is
7765. It's a nice.
I think this is one of the ones where, if it were to be all together, so we did the whole thing and ranked it as a whole, I think this would be quite a high scorer. However, I think because we did it in segments, it kind of limits that a little bit. But I think it's a very interesting one all the same. Don't you think?
Yes, yeah, very interesting. I like these myths that are less about the gods and more about people.
Yeah, and but that's the thing, because it's less. The more we do about humans, the less we see about the gods. If you know what I mean. So I think there's less outrageous stuff that happens because it's limited by the. Though it's very fantastical, it's limited by human conditioning. If you know what I mean.
And although this is the end of Achilles' story, and it has, in learning about his story, we've learned a lot about the majority of the 10-year Trojan War. We are yet to know actually what. The war hasn't actually ended, we've got to remember that too.
Yes.
Achilles is dead, but the war still rages on.
And we'll talk more about that next week, won't we, Dan?
I think there's a horse going to be involved at some point.
My name's Hoss, by the way.
Oh, sorry, I'm confused.
But yeah, thank you for listening. This has been a really fun episode today. Well, if by fun I mean desecration of corpse. But if you want to hear more of our dulcet tones and more about the brutality of war and how this war ends, what are they going to do, Dan?
Probably listen to the next one.
And they can do that by subscribing to whatever way you listen to this.
At MIFF Podcast.
Right.
On social media.
You really had no nuance there, did you? You were just like, I want to get this done. No, so let's do it properly, Dan.
Okay, sorry.
Where can you find us on social media?
At MIFF Podcast.
Thank you.
On Facebook and or Twitter. You can also email us at miffspodcast@gmail.com. That's miffs, MIFFS, podcast, PODCAST. So that's Mike, India, Foxtrot, Sierra.
Go on then.
Papa, Oscar, Delta, Charlie, Alpha, Romeo, Tango, Sierra.
Wow.
At gmail.co.uk.
Someone's mum's please.
No, gmail.com.
Yeah.
At gmail.com.
No, let's do it all. Gmail.
Golf Mike, Alpha, India, Lima, Sierra.
Yeah.
Dot, Charlie, Oscar, Mike.
Spell it dot.
Delta, Oscar, Tango.
There we go. Well,
miffspodcast.gmail.com.
right, now can you do the whole alphabet, but in there, please? Because I need to learn it, so Alpha.
I actually only know because I have to use it at work all the time.
Do you?
I never used to learn it. My mum will be listening to this, and she'll be impressed that I knew that because she is. She used to test me when I was a kid, and my sister always gets it right, and I was terrible as a kid at remembering the phonetic alphabet. But now I have to do it at my job all the time. I'm always talking to people in phonetic alphabet.
When I used to work at the A1 place, I used to work in the camera room, and when a car broke down, you would have to tell the pickup driver what the license plate was for the forms we had to fill out, and you had to kind of give them the police alphabet.
Yeah, phonetic alphabet.
It's a phonetic alphabet, and I would get. I don't know it, and I had to kind of riff it. So you give me some numbers, and I'll say what.
Okay, go on. Let's do.
Write it down for me.
I do get this. I do get this at work sometimes. I'm actually going to write down random letters.
Yeah, pretend it's like a license plate.
Okay, yeah. I do get random. We get a lot of people at work who will call us, and I'll say, "Oh, can you spell that phonetically, please?" And they'll be like, "Gary, Barbara,
that's what...
Sugar." Yeah.
Usually I'm speaking to some very tough Glaswegians as well, so...
There we go.
That's
It's quite a long it's a long license plate, but I've even put in a number in that. Imagine if this was a code that you had to read out.
Do you want to just read out what it says asking like the letters, and I'll...
PNOY
I'll just close
ZW 19 TFH.
Okay, here we go.
Hi Matt, do you have the code there?
Yeah, the code. Okay, here we go. Doing it out phonetically.
Yeah.
Okay. Police, Nora, Oscar, you're to Wanker, 19.
That's actually a Z.
What?
Not a 2, it's a Z.
Oh, Z. So let me try that again. Police, Nora, Oscar, Yankee, Zulu. I do know that one. Still, I'll stick with Wanker. 19. Tofu, Furor, and Hesphitus.
Furor. You're actually giving Hesphitus.
How do you spell that?
You got Zulu right, that's good. And Yankee.
Yeah.
You actually do know them, don't you?
No, sometimes, but sometimes I don't. And with T, I know it's Tango at a push, but in the moment, I'm not 100%
Yeah.
sure. Anyway, Daniel, thank you for being my lovely partner once again. And so I'll see you next week. And I think it might be one of the final ones of Troy.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
Let's do a whoop whoop. Actually, can we do some whapping at the end?
Whoop, 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 whoop. See you later.
Bye.
Myths, 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 myths.
There's a guy just there. There's a guy who postman.
Oh, right, bear with me. For the record, Matt is just going to see a postman. The postman is wearing a high-vis jacket and obviously can't be bothered to walk up the driveway, so Matt is walking down to meet him. Is this how they do it in the north? The postman just stand outside your house and wait for you to come to them? Is that how polite people are in the north? In the south, the delivery man just guesses whether you live there and then just chucks it at the front door. Oh, the guy couldn't work out how to do the... Oh, that's embarrassing. The guy just couldn't work out how to use the gate. He's like 82. He must be at least 80, this delivery guy. Oh my god, it's literally the simple... He couldn't even use the gate. I thought it was weird that he was just like not moving. Matt's now trying to mouth something to me from across the garden. I say garden, it's more like a grassy wasteland. Oh, here he comes.
What are you chatting about me, mate?
I was just telling the podcast how I was confused why he was waiting there, and then I realised it's because he couldn't use the fucking gate. Is that basically what just happened?
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Yeah.
He just couldn't use the gate, could he? I was saying to the podcast, I was like, why is this man not coming up the driveway? Why is he like... I've never seen that before, the delivery man just waving at you and making you come to him.
Yeah.
It's literally the simplest gate. It's just like a gate with a latch. Like, I don't... Because he looked sheepish when you opened it for him, and I could tell that he thought it was locked.
It's very true.
It's just the way you look. You could tell you walked over to him like, "Hey, man, can I help you?" Oh, you literally just want the gate open. Okay. People.